This is an easy step-by-step tutorial on how to do the basket stitch. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some cotton yarn size 3. So for the stitch, you want to start with a foundation chain that's a multiple of 6 plus 5 plus 2 for the base chain. So in my case, my foundation chain is 19. Now for row 1, we're going to work what we're going to call a V-stitch. And that is going to be basically 1 double crochet, a chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the same stitch. We're going to start that into the 5th chain from our hook. So we're going to skip 4. The loop on our hook does not count, so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. And onto the 5th chain, we're going to do a V-stitch. So that we're going to do 1 double crochet, what chain 1, and a double crochet into that same stitch. That's going to be a V-stitch. Now you're going to skip 2 chains and work a V-stitch into the next chain, or onto the 3rd chain. So onto the 3rd chain, you're going to do a V-stitch. And that's going to be your repetition. Skip 2 and onto the 3rd, do a V-stitch.
And just so you know, I have 500 other stitches coming your way in 2024, so make sure to subscribe to not miss out.
So that's the last V-stitch of my row 1, and I'm left with 2 chains. So you're going to skip 1 chain and onto the last, do 1 double crochet. And this is the end of row 1. For row 2, you're going to start with a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and flip your work. You're going to skip 2 stitches, which essentially brings you to the chain space between the V stitch from the previous row. So into here, you're going to work a double V stitch. So you're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, a chain 1, and now 2 double crochets. And this will be a double V stitch. It looks like this. So now your repetition begins. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next V stitch and work a double V stitch into the space at the center of the next V stitch. So essentially we're skipping this one, and onto the next one, we're going to do a double V stitch. So 2 double crochets. Sorry about that. I cannot stop filming right now, but that's 2 double crochets. 1 chain, and now 2 double crochets into that same stitch for a double V stitch. This is my last double V stitch that I'm going to do, but because it's the end of the row for me, I'm going to work it a little bit differently. So I will show you. I've done 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets into the same stitch. That's 1, and this will be 2. But before I close this double crochet, rather than closing it like normal, I would right now grab and go through 2 loops. I'm going to keep those 2 loops and do 1 double crochet on top of the chain turn chain. So I'm going to insert the hook into the turning chain and do a double crochet. So you're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's how you're going to finish row 2. So now for row 3, you're going to start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and flip your work. For this row, you want to work a V-stitch into each space between the double V stitches until the end. So it's going to look like this. You're going to do 1 double crochet into the chain space. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Let me just pull more yarn here. Now you're also going to work one in these like gaps here. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. Now another one into the chain space between the double V stitch. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and that is your repetition. 1 double crochet, chain one double crochet. And now this is my last double V-stitch I have to go into. So I'm gonna do a V-stitch in the chain space. And now I'm gonna finish this row by doing a double crochet into the top of the turning chain. So I'm gonna go into that turning chain with one double crochet. And this is the end of row 3. So for row 4, you wanna start with a chain 3 and flip your work. You wanna do a double crochet into the first stitch. Now you wanna skip the next V-stitch and into the chain space of the next V-stitch, so this one here, right in the chain space, we're gonna insert a double V-stitch. So that's gonna be 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and into the same stitch, 2 more double crochets. Now you're gonna chain 1 and repeat that. You're gonna skip a V-stitch and into the chain space of the next one, you're gonna do a double V-stitch. So 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets. And you're gonna be left with only one, well, once you get to the end of the row and you only have one V-stitch left from the previous row, you're going to skip this V-stitch and do 2 double crochets into the turning chain. So I'm gonna do 1 here and 2. And this is the end of row 4. For row 5, you want to work it as row 3. So you're gonna start with a chain 3 and you wanna work a V-stitch into each space till the end. So, but here you're gonna start with this space, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me, 5 spaces that I'm gonna work into. So we're gonna do a V-stitch into each one of them until the end of the row. And I'm gonna finish with a double crochet into top of the turning chain to finish this row after doing all of my V-stitches. So this is my last V-stitch here into the last space of the row. And now I'm gonna do 1 double crochet on top of the turning chain to finish row 5. And this is the end of row 5. So from now on, you just wanna do row repeats from 2 through 5 to continue working the basket stitch. And this is what it looks like. Those V stitches add just this really beautiful tall stitch to your work. Yeah, we love it.
Subscribe to my channel.